the midterm election.
Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this weekend.
Right now at 10, a sprint to the finish. As Election Day nears closer, candidates are making their final pitches to voters across the country. Good evening and thank you for watching News 8 Now this weekend. I'm Emily Haugen. With the balance of power up for grabs in Congress in Tuesday's midterm elections, candidates and former presidents are making final appeals to voters this weekend. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavides reports from Miami.
It's good to be back in Pennsylvania.
Former President Barack Obama slammed Republican Senate nominee Dr. Mehmet Oz in the battleground state of Pennsylvania.
If somebody's willing to peddle snake oil to make a buck, then he's probably willing to sell snake oil to get elected.
Campaigning in Pittsburgh with Democratic candidate John Fetterman, Mr. Obama warned about the future of abortion rights, Social Security, and democracy. Later, they appeared in Philadelphia with President Biden and Josh Shapiro, the nominee for governor.
One of the most important elections in our lifetime. It's going to shape, the outcome's going to shape our country for decades to come.
And tonight, Dr. Oz is set to rally in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, with former President Donald Trump, who has signaled he's strongly considering a 2024 White House run.
Democrats hold a narrow majority in the House and the Senate, but they're worried pressing issues like high inflation and concerns about crime could hurt their chances on Tuesday.
What they're doing to this country right now is a shame, and they won't admit it. They want to call all police officers thugs and bullies.
Georgia Republican Senate hopeful Herschel Walker is locked in a heated battle with incumbent Democrat Raphael Warnock.
Someone lowered the ladder just low enough for me to reach up and grab the ladder and pull myself up.
Nationwide, close to 40 million Americans have already cast their ballots in early voting, both by mail and in person. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Georgia election officials say as of Saturday morning, the state's record-breaking early turnout has seen nearly 2.3 million voters casting their ballot during early voting.
Well, the rain has finally pushed out of the Coulee region. Right now we are left with partly cloudy skies across the area. Take a look at the big picture. We had a low pressure system push its way through the Coulee region. We have another cool front that's off towards the Dakotas. That's going to be our weather maker as we go into the second half of the work week. We'll talk about that coming up in the next check of weather. Outside right now, look at this. We haven't moved much. Actually, we haven't moved at all over the past couple hours. We're still sitting pretty at 41 in La Crosse. Sparta's at 40. Black River Falls is at 40. Eau Claire, good evening to you guys. You're at 41. 38 in Preston, Decorah. Your sensor's down at this hour. 42 in Prairie du Chien, 41 in Boscobel. So here's a look at your forecast for the evening and overnight hours. We're going to see temperatures staying right around that 42, 41 degree mark. We're sitting at 41 degrees outside. It says it's raining at the airport. It's not raining at this hour. We are seeing partly cloudy skies. Feels like 34. The winds are starting to pick up out of the south at 11 miles per hour. So here's a look at the satellite radar. And like I said, we had this low pressure system push its way through. You see this guy right here in the Dakotas. Again, this is a cool front that's going to push its way through. And when it does, it's going to do two things. It's going to increase the precip chances and it's going to drop the temperatures yet again. Now, Emily, coming up in the first alert forecast, we're going to talk about a day where we have temperatures in the 60s and then a couple of days where we may not see temperatures above freezing on the high end.
Oof, I don't know if I'm ready. All right,
ready or not,
Sarah.
here it comes.
Wisconsin State Senator Brad Pfaff visited La Crosse today as part of his statewide tour to prep voters for the election. Pfaff, who is running for Wisconsin's 3rd Congressional District, met with voters today. Pfaff is also focusing his campaign on women's reproductive rights. He says he wants to make sure everybody gets a say in the election.
Recognize the fact that democracy is at stake, and we recognize how important it is that we get out and vote to make sure that we choose our leaders, not just a few, but everybody.
Pfaff will also make stops in Eau Claire and Stevens Point on his tour. He is facing Republican candidate Derek Van Orden in the upcoming election. Search and rescue efforts are underway following tornadoes that swept through Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas last night. At least one person is dead and multiple people are missing. The National Weather Service reports that most of the reported Texas tornadoes occurred along the Red River border with Oklahoma. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt toured damage in one town and said he has plans to declare a state of emergency in those affected counties. And Aaron Carter, who won early fame as a child pop star, was found dead in his home near Los Angeles today, according to media reports. An LA Sheriff's Department spokesperson confirmed that deputies found a deceased person at Carter's residence, but they could not provide further details. There are no reports that foul play was suspected in Carter's death. Carter, who was 34, released his debut album when he was just 9 years old in 1997. He was a child pop star who frequently appeared on Nickelodeon and toured with his brother's band, the Backstreet Boys. He wrestled with addiction issues for years and sometimes shared those struggles publicly. While community members helped to honor those who served our country today at the 6th Annual Veterans Bonanza. Veterans and their families attended the event, which gave them a chance to learn more about available resources in the community. This includes assistance with health care, education, employment, and much more. Organizers say they like being able to offer these resources for veterans.
It's a really great thing to look out on the floor and see not only all the vendors that we have here taking a Saturday out to serve these veterans, but that the veterans are here to look into these benefits.
This year's turnout was the largest in the history of the event. And women from the farming community got together today for conversation and collaboration. The Mastermind Dinner for Modern Farm Chicks brings female farmers from the region a chance to chat and encourage each other. Modern Day Farm Chicks started out as a blog which connected female farmers through social media. According to the founder, Annalise Wegner, she wants the public to realize just how important female farmers are.
A lot of people don't realize what a big role women in agriculture play, whether we are farmers or we're taking care of the kids or running for parks. We have so many different jobs and so many different titles to keep the farm running.
More than 100 female farmers were invited to attend today. Coming up on News 8 now at 10, a league of her own. A Galesville woman is being honored in Washington, D.C. for her time in professional baseball. That's up later. But first, $1.6 billion are at stake in tonight's Powerball drawing. That's the largest prize ever. What people are saying about it after the break.
You've heard what women say about working at Tim Michaels' company, that they were groped.
A male superior groped the crotch and inner thigh of a female employee
and pressured to have sex with their bosses. And now we know more. According to an attorney involved in the case, when the only woman on a Michaels road crew was sexually harassed on the job, the company did not take it seriously. From the top down. From the top down. If that's how Tim Michaels runs his company, how do you think he'd run the state?
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we've helped hunters gear up for deer season for over 67 years. So when it's time to head out on your upcoming hunt, we have what you need, all at fair and honest prices. Like 10 packs of Grabber hand warmers, just $5.99. 2 packs of men's Realtree hunting socks, only $8.99. While you're in for hunting gear, save $100 on this DeWalt 80-gallon air compressor. And this 50-foot extension cord is only $44.99.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Career politician Steve Doyle loves touting his record. Let's review it. When La Crosse County residents needed tax relief, Doyle voted no. When La Crosse County needed road repair funding, Doyle voted no. When La Crosse County parents wanted more support for schools and input on their kids' education, Doyle voted no. When La Crosse County needed violent criminals locked up, Doyle voted no. Steve Doyle's real record: rising costs, rising crime, abandoning us when we needed him most.
Radical Tim Michaels is extremely divisive.
I don't care who I offend.
And at his company, the culture comes from the top. Multiple court filings say women were sexually assaulted, harassed, and pressured to have sex with their bosses.
If she refused demands for sex, she would be blackballed from working on a pipeline job.
Higher-ups dismissed the women as liars and fired those who spoke out.
I don't care who I offend.
That's how Tim Michaels runs his company. Don't let him run our state.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
The largest lottery prize ever, $1.6 billion, is at stake in tonight's Powerball drawing. 5 states, Utah, Nevada, Hawaii, Alaska, and Alabama, don't sell tickets, but someone in the other 45 could soon be very rich. Here's CBS's Danya Backus.
Across the country,
I guess the Powerball too.
People are calling on Lady Luck in hopes of winning the world's largest lottery prize ever, $1.6 billion.
We got the winning ticket, guys.
With a jackpot that big, everyone has a dream.
What would you do with all that money?
Well, spend it, of course.
If they announce these numbers, I'm probably going to have a heart attack.
In fact, there's a greater chance of having a heart attack, being struck by lightning, or attacked by a grizzly bear in Yellowstone Park than winning it all. The odds, only 1 in 292 million.
You can't win if you don't play. So I have slightly more of a chance by buying a ticket than never buying a ticket.
Here in California, home to one winner of the last record-breaking lottery. Residents of Nevada are crossing the state line in droves for the chance to win big since they can't play Powerball at home. Economists say rising inflation may be feeding the frenzy.
In a lot of previous times when the economy is actually in recession, we see a spike in lottery sales. Inflation's cutting the value of your income. Well, one way out of that is go down and buy something which can potentially change that.
There's been a line outside this store in Los Angeles known for producing winning tickets all day. Although tonight's jackpot is $1.6 billion, the cash value is only around $780 million before taxes. And if no one wins tonight, it will tie for the longest jackpot run in Powerball history. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And Elon Musk's plan to sell the blue verification checkmark on Twitter was officially launched Saturday. The announcement implied that anyone can get a blue checkmark for $7.99 a month, just like celebrities. Critics say that the new verification feature, though, could have some unintended consequences. Color of Change CEO Rashad Robinson worries that trolls could pay the $8, pose as officials, and create chaos. In response, Twitter says that new feature is not live yet, and they are still busy making updates in real time. We'll have Powerball numbers for you shortly, but first it's almost time to turn back your clocks. Daylight savings time is upon us tonight, but some experts say it might not be so good for your body clock. More on that after the break.
You know, I think Cher sang a song about turning back time at one point in time. No pun intended. Hey, in the world of weather, we have partly cloudy skies outside. Temperatures are in the 40s. We're not going to move much, but we're talking 50s tomorrow. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
This is fentanyl, so dangerous that one pill kills. They make it in China, smuggle it through Mexico. Across our border that Joe Biden surrendered to cartels and gangs. Brad Pfaff backs Biden's open border agenda 100%. Fentanyl killed 1,200 people last year in Wisconsin alone. Now every town is a border town. Pfaff won't stop the drugs, so we have to stop Brad Pfaff.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland.
As in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor.
Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it, Wisconsin cheese.
But it's the smiles we put on your face with every meal made just for you.
It really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
We have a pretty big choice to make in this election, and it's about whether women get to keep their right to choose. I'm pro-choice. Always have been, always will be. Derek Van Orden wants to ban abortion, with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the mother. He'll do anything to take away your right to choose. I'll do anything to protect it. That's the choice in this election. And now, it's up to you. I'm Brad Pfaff, and I approve this message.
Under Tony Evers and Joe Biden, it's been bad, but it's gonna get much worse because winter is coming. That's right. Reports say natural gas heating bills are going up by 28%. Inflation has already caused pain at the pump, grocery checkouts, on rent. But this fall, there's still time to stop the winter pain by voting no on Tony Evers before he makes it even worse, if that's possible.
I'm Steve Doyle. Public safety has always been my priority. I've been endorsed by the Wisconsin Professional Police Association, the state's largest law enforcement organization. These are the men and women who put their lives on the line every day to keep us safe. They've had our backs, and I've had theirs. I don't just talk about public safety. I have a record of supporting our officers, cracking down on dangerous criminals, and fighting to keep our community safe. That's why I'm the candidate of law enforcement.
Whether it's windows or doors, siding or sunrooms, baths or kitchens, we've got you covered with our on-staff installers, plumbers, and electricians. Don't lose sleep trying to coordinate it all yourself. We're here to take the pain out of your next remodel. Call or visit today.
Experts are asking, could daylight savings time be causing health problems? Plus, the CDC's new guidance on pain medication. Bradley Blackburn has some of the week's top health stories.
The CDC has updated its guidelines for prescribing opioids for pain. Among the recommendations, medical providers should avoid abrupt discontinuation of opioids, and they should collaborate with patients when making treatment decisions. The agency says some state laws and insurance decisions that were supposedly based off the 2016 guidelines were actually inconsistent with those recommendations and have contributed to patient harm. Pregnant immigrants in the U.S. are less likely to receive timely prenatal care than people born in the U.S. Researchers at the Mount Sinai School of Medicine say that can contribute to long-standing health disadvantages. The CDC says 1 in 4 births in the U.S. is to a person who is an immigrant or non-U.S. citizen. And eliminating daylight saving time would help people get more sleep and relieve stress. That's the position of the Sleep Research Society. The group says daylight saving time causes more light exposure in the evening, delaying the production of melatonin in the body. This can lead to sleep loss, which is associated with obesity, stress, heart disease, and depression. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
A new type of antibiotic to treat urinary tract infections would soon be submitted for FDA approval, ahead of schedule. It's the first antibiotic developed for UTIs in more than 20 years. Those are one of the most common infections, especially in women and girls. The new antibiotic is called gepotidacin, and the drug maker GSK said its independent data monitoring committee recommended stopping testing early because the drug had already proven to be effective. GSK said it would prepare its findings for publication in a medical journal and submit its data to the FDA for approval next year. New antibiotics are desperately needed because over time, many kinds of bacteria have become resistant to the agents used to treat them. Now we're back to daylight savings news. Experts say that the end of daylight saving time could cause health-related side effects. According to doctors at Mayo Clinic Health System, having a consistent schedule is key. Because the human brain has a 24-hour clock already built in, this switch can affect someone's ability to concentrate. Doctors also say there's a more dangerous side effect: you're driving.
Done on different continents show that the rate of motor vehicle accidents increases for the week after the clocks change in many different parts of the world.
And to help with that transition, doctors recommend avoiding alcohol, limiting screen time, and heavy meals. So I said this earlier, but it really feels like I've been dodging rain showers all day, like back and forth and back and forth. I'm like, oh, is it raining right now? I look outside, I'm like, oh, maybe I can go for a walk. Nope.
Well, you say boring. Dodging, I mean, we're talking like the puddle ducky dodging?
Yes.
Or you were?
I'm like jumping around.
Right. Hey, speaking of winning and dodging, here's like a forecast for the next several days. And, you know, I didn't win the Powerball, so I'll be here tomorrow. But here's a look at the next several days. We will go to 48 for Monday, 54 Tuesday, 60s for Wednesday. Then we cool off again as another front pushes its way through for Thursday. We go to 49, 37 as we go into your Friday. So here's a look at CityCam right now. We have partly cloudy skies. Temperatures haven't moved much. Over the past couple hours, we've been hovering right around 41, 42 degrees. That's where we are right now. We're sitting pretty at 41 degrees. It feels like 34. Our dew point's at 37. So with our temperature and our dew point being that close to each other, that means one thing: some places could have low visibility. So allow yourself some extra time to get from point A to point B if you have plans tonight. Humidity is sitting at 86%. Winds are out of the south at 11. One thing to note, speaking of tonight, don't forget to set your clocks back 1 hour as daylight saving time comes to an end, and I will be up at 2 a.m. to make sure things go without a hitch. Numbers for today: made it to 45 after a morning start of 41, 51, and 34 is where we should be for this time of year. Here's some good news right here. See that 1.24 inches above normal? So we're well above normal for the month already. Another sign of good news is now we're sitting just below 6 inches at 5.17 inches below normal. So it's trending in the right direction, and we have rain chances in the 8th day. As of right now, we have a clean sweep on the radar scan. This will get a break for tomorrow. This is our weather maker as we go into the second half of the work week. What's going to happen? You see this low pressure system? We'll get on the back end of it, and it's going to do two things. First of all, it's going to drop the temperature. Second of all, it's going to increase the precip chances. Now, it's not going to be gangbusters as like what's happening in Wyoming, where the upper elevations of the Tetons, Gros Ventres, the Snowy and Sierra Madre range, the Wind Rivers have seen 1 to 2 feet, and they're going to see 2 to 4 more inches. We're not going to see that. We will keep a shower chance in the forecast as that system pushes its way through. So when you wake up in the morning, temperatures in the 30s and 40s will greet you. 37 in Sparta, 39 La Crosse, 39 Viroqua, as well as Decorah. Preston, you'll go to 35, 39 in Winona. So we clear out for the overnight hours. We'll see a mixture of sun and clouds for your Sunday. Those will dissipate as we go into your Sunday late afternoon, early evening hours. Highs for tomorrow. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see temperatures going back into the 50s. And then we cool off again for Sunday. We warm up again for Tuesday, Wednesday, with temperatures some places on Wednesday going back into the mid to upper 60s before our next system pushes through. And it's good, like I said, two things: much cooler air, and it's going to increase the precip chances. So here's a look at the next 8 days. Is the way I see it. Again, daylight saving time ends at 2 a.m. tomorrow, so set your clocks back ahead, or back 1 hour, I should say. We got a 48 Monday, 54 Tuesday, 67 for Wednesday. And then we drop those temperatures, 40s for Thursday, 30s for Friday, and some places Friday and Saturday may not see highs above freezing. Talk about a change in the system, Emily.
Seriously, it's like shocking compared to last week with the 70s.
Yep, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
It really is. It really is. Thanks, Eric.
You bet.
After the break, the Wisconsin Badgers continue to turn their season around as they faced off with Maryland today. And the Milwaukee Bucks look to start their season with 9 straight wins. Kate is in next with the highlights.
Thank you for watching News 8 Lacrosse. Here are tonight's winning Powerball numbers. News 8 Sports is brought to you by Mayo Clinic Health System. Whether you need routine care or treatment for a complex condition, Mayo Clinic Health System has convenient and safe options for the care you and your family need.
He pushed tax loopholes benefiting himself. Send him back, and he'll make things worse. Ron Johnson would let Wisconsin ban abortion, even in cases of rape, and said if you don't like it, you can move. He voted to raise the retirement age and wants to end guaranteed spending on the Social Security you earned.
Social Security is a legal Ponzi scheme, but that's exactly what it is.
Ron Johnson, still making it harder on us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
I was in law enforcement for over 40 years, and I can't imagine a better attorney general than Josh Kaul. He's a real prosecutor who's locked up murderers, serial rapists, the really dangerous guys you want off the street, and kept them behind bars. And he'll work with anyone, Republican or Democrat, to get it done. Look, there's more we have to do, but the only one I'd want leading the fight against crime is our Attorney General, Josh Kaul.
Oh, great. My wireless bill just went up.
Should have gone with US Cellular. They aren't raising prices on any of their plans.
Seriously?
Yeah, my price won't increase.
Well, that is refreshing. I feel like everywhere you turn these days, prices are going up.
Supply chain got us too. Don't get me started on the overhead cost.
At US Cellular, every plan for everyone is price protected.
You know, I respect a female entrepreneur.
US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
The lessons I learned growing up in Brownsville still ring true today. Work hard, take responsibility, and do your best. But that's not happening with Tony Evers. Evers released Wisconsin's worst criminals, killed jobs, paid people not to work, and he let so much more go up in flames. I'm Tim Michaels. It's time to stop the madness. As governor, I'll take the values I learned here and put them to work for Wisconsin.
Tim Michaels for governor.
News 8 Now Sports is brought to you by Mayo Clinic Health System. Here's News 8 Now's Kate Overton.
Well, I'm not sure you can save the Wisconsin football season, but Jim Leonard has turned this team around since he took over. They're 2-1 in 3 games under him. With 4 more games left on the schedule, the Badgers could still finish at a respectable 8-4. They were at home this afternoon taking on 6-2 Maryland, and the Terrapins going forward on 4th and 8 on the first drive of the game, but Keanu Benton is there with the sack, and the Badgers take over. First drive looked good, made it down to the 9-yard line, and then Braylon Allen takes the handoff, gets to the outside, and is in for the score. Badgers up 7-0. Badgers get another big stop, and then on the first play of their second drive, Isaac Garendo takes the handoff, hits the hole, and turns on the Jets. He's going to go 89 yards, stays in bounds, and scores on the long run to give Wisconsin a 14-0 lead. Now 20-3 in the second half. Maryland needing to score. It's the freshman Hunter Wooler makes the interception. The Badgers would run down the clock and get the win. They are now 5-4 on the season. The Gophers on the road in Lincoln taking on Nebraska, and the Cornhuskers striking first. Chubba Purdy taking it in himself, scoring to give Nebraska a 7-0 lead. We go to the second half, and Minnesota showing signs of life. Athens Kalakimanis dropping back and going deep, and he has a man. It's Daniel Jackson who hauls it in, and then a few plays later, it's Mohamed Ibrahim taking it in for 6, and we're all tied up. Nebraska trying to answer. Purdy launching it, but that's Terrell Smith jumping the pass for the interception. That gives the Gophers the ball in plus territory. Now on the goal line, it's Ibrahim again taking the handoff and finding the end zone. That gives Minnesota a 10-point lead, and they'd go on to win 20-13. All right, UWL taking on UW River Falls in a bit of some rain, and River Falls actually striking first. Michael Kruger taking the handoff and scoring. It's 7-0. UWL trails. First quarter winding down. Kaiser Helterbrand dropping back and sending it deep. He's got Jack Studer who makes the catch and scores to tie this one up. Still in the first half, the Falcons are marching. Caleb Blaha stepping up in the pocket, buying time, but the pass goes high, and Cade Osborne is there to pick it off. The Eagles now with a big lead in the second half, and Cade Garcia dropping back and making a perfect pass to Cam Sorensen. Check this one out. Just a great pass and catch right there. And then on the very next play, Garcia taking it in himself on the QB sneak. And UWL, they win again. They're now 8-1 on the season. Prairie du Chien was playing their level 3 playoff game tonight after getting rained out last night, and they had to come from behind, but they got the lead in the second half and closed it out 14-6 over Broadhead Judah. They'll advance to the semifinals next Friday, taking on Mayville. All right, switching over to the Milwaukee Bucks. They're looking to go 9-0 to start the season, but Giannis out for this one against the Thunder. But it doesn't even matter because they have Brooke Lopez making the catch and shoot 3 here, and then getting the rebound and putting it back up for another 3. He finished with 25 points on the night. And then in the second quarter, Jordan Nora in transition, finding Grayson Allen in the corner, and he nails the 3. No Giannis, no problem. The Bucks are rolling and improved to 9-0. Timberwolves at home against the Rockets, and Anthony Edwards doing his thing, driving by the defense and slamming it in for the lead. And then in transition, Jordan McLaughlin passing ahead to Edwards, and another slam dunk for the Timberwolves. They bounced back after a loss last night and get into the win column, 129-117. And the Houston Astros are the World Series champions. They closed it out just moments ago, taking down the Phillies 4-1 in Game 6 of the World Series, their first World Series win since the infamous cheating year in 2017. Last thing real quick, a quick look at tomorrow's NFL games. The Packers looking to break their 4-game losing streak. It's been over a month since we've seen a Green Bay win, but they've got a good chance to change it all tomorrow. They're in Detroit taking on the 1-6 Lions. And the 6-1 Vikings are in D.C. taking on the 4-4 Commanders. Both of these games are at noon tomorrow, and there's no evening show, so I'll have full coverage from both of these games tomorrow night at 10. That's all from me. We'll be right back.
The Coulee region has been good to me and my family, and I wanted to give something back. That's why I ran for the state assembly. And I've tried to do good things in Madison for the people of western Wisconsin. Wisconsin is facing a lot of problems today, and we need people who understand how things work. Right now, Wisconsin has a $5 billion surplus. With that surplus, we need to cut taxes. We need to fix our roads, and we need to fund our schools, and we need to do that now.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know what needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy providers are working together to help keep your heat and power on. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here.
I see your hard work, everything you do to try to make it, but people continue to be left behind. I'm running for Senate to put more money in your pocket. Ron Johnson's had 12 years to make things better, but costs are still rising, and all he's managed to do is write a tax cut for himself. I believe better is possible. I believe hard work can pay off, and I'll never stop fighting until it does. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
I was in law enforcement for over 40 years, and I can't imagine a better attorney general than Josh Call. He's a real prosecutor who's locked up murderers, serial rapists, the really dangerous guys you want off the street, and kept them behind bars. And he'll work with anyone, Republican or Democrat, to get it done. Look, there's more we have to do, but the only one I'd want leading the fight against crime is our Attorney General, Josh Call.
Radical Tim Michels is extremely divisive.
I don't care who I offend.
And at his company, the culture comes from the top. Multiple court filings say women were sexually assaulted, harassed, and pressured to have sex with their bosses.
If she refused demands for sex, she would be blackballed from working on a pipeline job.
Higher-ups dismissed the women as liars and fired those who spoke out.
I don't care who I offend.
That's how Tim Michels runs his company. Don't let him run our state.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
A Galesville woman is being honored in Washington, D.C. this weekend for her time in the All-American Girls Pro Baseball League. 85-year-old Dolly Osborne, who you may remember from a story this September, signed her pro contract to pitch for the league at just 14. She played 3 seasons in the league and even played men's teams after that league folded. Dolly and the other living women who played were honored at the American Valor, a Salute to Our Heroes event tonight. That event showcases the stories of inspiring Americans from World War II to the present day. And back here at home, you're never too young to make a difference. At the 7th annual iFeed event, 7 different schools from the region came together to help end hunger. Today, students got to dress up and collect money and donations for the Hunger Task Force. One student said she had plenty of fun, but she learned a lot too.
We learned how to be a leader, be a better communicator. I've learned how to interact with other people I don't talk to on a daily basis and get to know everybody.
Non-perishable food items and financial donations were collected this morning. Those items will be distributed to food banks throughout the area. Students also put together meals to be sent to Poland for Ukrainian refugees. If you'd like to help out the Hunger Task Force, they are always accepting donations. We'll post more information for you on our website. That is news8000.com, and we'll be right back with one last check of your forecast.
Child killers, murderers, rapists. Hundreds released early by Tony Evers' parole commission. And they're not even telling victims' families.
Governor Evers, everyone in Wisconsin is less safe because of you.
The Cooley region has been good to me and my family, and I wanted to give something back. That's why I ran for the state assembly. And I've tried to do good things in Madison for the people of western Wisconsin. Wisconsin is facing a lot of problems today, and we need people who understand how things work. Right now, Wisconsin has a $5 billion surplus. With that surplus, we need to cut taxes. We need to fix our roads, and we need to fund our schools, and we need to do that now.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we've helped hunters gear up for deer season for over 67 years. So when it's time to head out on your upcoming hunt, we have what you need, all at fair and honest prices. Like 10 packs of Grabber hand warmers, just $5.99. Game Hide camo hoodies are on sale, $29.99. While you're in for hunting gear, get this Schumacher multi-amp battery charger, only $69.99. And load up ATVs with Laren loading ramps and ramp kits, 20% off.
Aren't you tired of the division, the anger? I know I sure am. Our country faces enormous challenges. I promise I'll do everything I can to help make things better, and I'll always tell you the truth. What continues to give me hope are the kind and decent people I meet all over Wisconsin. People who love America and are willing to work hard to unify and heal it. Please join us. I'm Ron Johnson, I approve this message, and I'm asking for your vote.
I'm Dave Estenson, and I'm running for state senate because our current guy is part of the problem. He wrote the state mask mandate. I fought it and won. He's a big spender. I'm fiscally conservative. He's soft on crime. I have 12 years of experience in law enforcement. Sometimes the choice is just that clear, and I know my neighbors will make the right one. I'm Dave Estenson, and I appreciate your vote.
Child killers, murderers, rapists. Hundreds released early by Tony Evers' parole commission. And they're not even telling victims' families.
Governor Evers, everyone in Wisconsin is less safe because of you.
One final look at the next 8 days. Don't forget to set your clocks back an hour as daylight saving time comes to an end. Matter of fact, go ahead and do it after this newscast. We'll go to 48 for Monday, back into the 60s for Wednesday, then 30s for Friday and Saturday. Emily, take it away.
All right, well, enjoy your extra hour of sleep, everybody.
All right, yeah, I need to go back and set my clocks now because I will forget and my whole schedule will be messed up.
All right, well, thank you for watching News 8 Now. And remember, there's no early show tomorrow, so we'll see you at 10:30.